Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's late night Q&A with ZodWriter, and I am pleased to have a good friend of mine on the panel with me tonight, Mr. Mad Max. Mad Max Movies. What's up, Max?
Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. There's some stuff to talk about, I'm sure. Hey baby girl, Snyder fan, Noel. Resident RJ is here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I'm so glad that all of you decided to come and join us for tonight's episode. I always enjoy these because it gives me a chance to sit down and talk with, people one on one that you don't always get to do when you do live streams and you have panels full of multiple people. So this is kind of cool. And you ended up being quite early. So I give you props for that, Max.
Yeah, for once.
And we've got RJ here. He was incorrect. A lot of bad takes from RJ lately.
Yeah.
Max is going to be late and fall asleep on the ZodWriter show. No, Max won't fall asleep. If anything, I'll fall asleep. And Max will be telling me to wake up. Sickness says, "What's up, brother Zod and Max?"
Hey,
yeah, good to see you all. Thanks for coming, Sickness. Thanks for coming, everybody. Great that you could all be here. I'm super excited. This is a lot of fun. I on Tuesday I did my top 5 movies, my personal top 5 movies of 2021. Do you have a top 5 movies of 2021? Have you seen 5 movies in 2021?
Well, yeah, No Way Home and Zack Snyder's Justice League would be the top 2, probably tied. I really like Dune. Matrix is in there. Resurrection. No, I'm just kidding. It's not in. Well, it's not even a movie, but I would say a series is The Witcher season 2 was amazing. Let me think of another one. Trying to think of another one there. I don't know. There's been so much streaming content. I'm waiting for Cobra Kai to come out this week.
Oh, I know. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I guess for 5 movies, it's hard. I know Free Guy was funny, but it's not my top 5. I don't know. Not as many movies, but more streaming content this year.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of streaming content. So I got to ask you. We talk a little bit about the Matrix. The new Matrix movie is getting a lot of heat for being vastly inferior to the previous films, and I'm wondering, and this is just my take on it. Would Matrix have been better if they would have did it as like a limited series on HBO Max, given it some time to breathe and told a more grandiose story?
I think it would be easier to accept the changes if it was a series, and I do want a series. I don't think it's going to happen now, though. I just think it's so underwhelming. Like we said, I think I talked to you before. It was a great setup to resurrect the franchise, and then just went nowhere. New characters, not enough action. Matrix, you got to have some really interesting new action set pieces, and it just didn't deliver there. The music, the soundtrack was off, and it was kind of cheesy towards the end, honestly.
I feel like Wachowski just made that movie so that the studio wouldn't make another Matrix movie without them, because I really feel like they were going to. Warner Brothers was determined to like dig into this franchise and resurrect it regardless, because they needed another big movie to compete with Spider-Man at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, she said she didn't. I heard she didn't want to finish it during the pandemic. She wanted to just let it go, and the crew had to convince Lana to finish the movie, which is weird.
That is weird. I mean, to commit to something like that, to it on that level, and then decide not to, not even to want to finish it. I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, why would you want to abandon something you'd already put so much time and work into? I don't, I don't get that because then
That's
you
what
would
I've
have,
heard. I don't
because then
know.
people would have, because then you would have had a groundswell campaign online, release the Wachowski cut because
Yeah.
that Warner Brothers would have uh, made an effort to finish it regardless.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know that I got to research more of that to see what was happening. I guess because of the pandemic, they paused the movie, and then I guess she didn't actually want to come back and finish. I don't know. I'm disappointed. I wish the new characters had more to do. It was still the Neo and Trinity show, but I mean, I guess if you went opposite that too much, people would have complained too.
Yeah,
I have no interest in seeing it again. I will, but I like the original. I like the original trilogy too. I'm not like a hater. That I was really looking forward to it as well. I thought the trailer was great that came out, but all the cool stuff is in the trailer. Basically, all the
yeah,
cool actions in the trailer.
yeah, pretty much. And here's the thing I didn't get about this movie. I felt like they were trying to limit the amount of visual effects that they used for this movie too,
Seems like it was on a budget. I think
because they really didn't allow Neo to be as powerful as he was in previous films.
yeah. It feels like it was a film put on a budget.
Like that, like
Yeah,
that, like that, like that. That was one of those movies where, like, it felt almost to me like it was a made-for-TV movie.
yeah. Saggy's. Yeah, I do smell really good. I smell really good, Saggy. Thank you. We
And
can all.
Saggy says, "I love that my comment is still there. LOL. Keep it up there the whole stream." Well, I'm trying to
Well, if
get to
RJ's
everybody's comments.
if RJ's still in the chat, we could talk about how wrong he is. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, that would absolutely be fun because he's had some pretty
He's
uh
very I just want to see if he's still watching.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he I don't know if he is or isn't. I don't know. Um, I wonder about if if people are watching or not. I'm happy though that there are people watching because that's one of the things that you know makes this a lot lot of fun to
No,
have an
no, no.
audience.
I just mean RJ specifically. He
No,
made
no,
a
no. I know
comment.
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I'm expanding upon that. But I get what you're saying about RJ. Uh, and Zeno says Matrix. Oh my God, Matrix 4 was good. It was very creative and meta. Cylon Scotty explained it better than I could on Enosh's show last night. It's deeper than you might think. No, I thought it was deep. Let me tell you something. I felt like this movie had a lot of potential. I
Mhm.
felt like it had great ideas. Like it started off awesome. Like the first hour was the greatest thing about it. Like if it would have kept on that trajectory the entire film, dealing with Neo's PTSD and going even deeper into the metaverse with this Matrix stuff, I think it could have been fantastic. And I think what ended up happening is Wachowski, she just wanted to finish it up because she didn't even really want to do it. She got to a point where it was just like, I don't even want to finish the film. So I feel like they started out with some really great ideas, but then just rushed to finish it up.
Maybe that's why it fell flat for me. It had a great build up, and then they had to stop from the pandemic, so all that momentum was gone, and basically just coming back to do what needed to finish a movie, and not that that want that the
Yeah. Yeah, and Sickness is saying, yeah, Neo was neutered. Yeah, he was. He was because he's so powerful, especially when you get to when you get into the later movies and stuff. And then if you've played played the video games, Neo is really powerful. So, that's why I say this felt like a movie of the week, made for TV revival, kind of like when they do they'll take like an old TV show like Dukes of Hazzard, and they'll do like a revival and bring all the characters back, and you can tell that the movie is being made for next to nothing. They didn't put any money into it. The plot is really free and loose, and they just whatever. They just want to get through the 90 minutes. That's kind of how I felt this movie was. It just sort of fell completely flat. But like I said, when you watch the trailers and you watch that first hour, I mean, you think that and I can pinpoint it right to the point where it got bad for me, like right to up at that point where Neo was in the pod unplugging, right up to that point. Once he unplugged and he got out and he got back into the real world again, it was that's where the movie for me just went nowhere. Like, and it's so weird that, you know, you can find an exact spot like where it went to crap. So that must have been where they stopped filming during the pandemic. And Wachowski was like, I don't care, finish it up however you want, however you want to.
Maybe.
And we got the Bat Channel here. Brother Zod, hope you've been doing good, brother. Happy holidays, everyone. Good to see you, Bat Channel. Glad you're here. Resident Justice RJ says Max is here on time. Whoa. Yeah, so that was an incorrect take.
Well, that's an easy guess that I'll be late or something, because I have been I don't know, I've just been running ragged. Too many things going on with my parents and my job.
Yeah. Sickness says the Bat Channel, what's up, brother? We got the Bat Channel here saying smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to my bro Zod. Thank you so much for the support. And we've got RJ here saying I'm here, yes, got to support my friends. Well, thank you very much, RJ. I consider you a friend as well. And we've got the Bat Channel getting down with the sickness here. It's nice to see so many familiar faces in the chat.
Oh, Kelly. She knocked over a lamp.
It wouldn't be a live stream without your dogs wreaking havoc
into trouble
in your life. Zeno says Lana not wanting to do the film is in the film. She agreed to do the movie if she could take jabs at WB. WB let her do that. Yeah. She sure did take some jabs at WB, and I thought that was funny.
Boy, it'd be nice for WB to actually let all their creatives do what they wanted.
Are you kidding when they make the Zack Snyder biography movie? Can you imagine how insane that movie's going to be? Can you imagine how bad that's going to make Warner Brothers look?
Yeah.
And we've got Chubby Teddy Master in the chat. What's up, Chubby? Hi, guys. How is everyone? We got the fire from sickness. And here we go. Yeah, we got a full house today. This is cool.
I like what Snyder fan said there. I could talk about that a little bit.
Okay, and we've got boycott hashtag boycott WB. What do you think about that, Max?
Well, I've boycotted movies based on quality before, so I'm not personally boycotting, but I'm not going to call anyone a child like other people have for doing that. That's what you could do, and in the false narrative that things like that don't work, it can. Look at, there's a history of this with products and consumers, like the old Coke. People didn't like the new recipe. It's the same thing. It's the new recipe at WB. We don't like the new recipe. We like the old DCEU. So I'm okay with that. I do value people's jobs though, but nothing wrong with the consumer saying, you're not giving me what I want, and I'm going to be vocal about it. Just like everything in life, the politics and anything. I don't like politics to go toxic or the storming or anything. But if you're using your voice to say, I'm not happy with the product, I can support that. Sorry. It's not, people talk about how bad the fandom is. It's not an excuse for toxic behavior, but no one's excusing that. But it is a situation where the company created this situation by I keep telling people, it's like The original, this movie and this series is like Star Wars to some people, and it's like they stopped at Empire Strikes Back, and then they never gave you Return of the Jedi, and they're like, we're gonna go do something different. It's like that. It's like we're not getting the continuation. We're not going to see Dark Side again. It's on that level, and that's a situation that Warner Bros. Created, and they deserve the backlash.
Yeah, it does. It does feel as epic as the original Star Wars trilogy. It honestly does, and it has that air about it, and it really is deep, and it resonates with a lot of people. So I'm not surprised that people kind of have this view of it now.
Now, to me,
boycotting WB.
I don't know if it's actually necessary though. Like people that say there's a path forward. Why are you going to boycott if you think there's a path forward for the Snyder? And I still think there is a path forward. And I mean, we even talk about the Ben Affleck situation. I have a really strong take, which I'm planning to do a video on later too, about what he's saying right now. It's the similar situation. Here's what I think. Well, first off, the points where all the critics of the Snyder Cut fandom and how it's dead, nothing's going to happen. How can you offer a dead character a series? So, even saying that he was considered for the Batgirl or for his own series, as the rumors we're getting now, that actually proves all the scoopers and the fandom right, that they were considering options to go forward. My perspective right now is that I don't know, we don't know if Batfleck is actually character is going to die off in the Flash. We don't know till we see it. And anyone that says, oh, this is a send off and people need to let it go, don't know the context of the actual film yet. It could have changed. We don't know. My interpretation is if they're offering the character other spots, I don't think the character is going to die off in the Flash. If they're going to offer, unless they changed it after he declined it, they say, okay, kill off his character. But why would they be offering him other roles if the Flash is a send off and the character dies? And then you have to consider if they are offering him stuff, is he just going to take anything? So if they kept the character alive with the Flash and Batfleck, and they're offering other opportunities, there are discussions being made, why would he jump in to and sign on the dotted line pre-merger, just like when Justice League from Joss Whedon was done? That was another pre-merger situation, and it was awful. So I don't think he's just going to come back just because he's only going to come back if he feels like it. And if the right situation. Now, he may say, I'm done with IP films for now. We'll see. We'll see if they do actually go forward with Zach, which is also, I'm not sure. It could happen. Then they'll contact Ben. And if it's the right script, he'd probably consider it. I'm sorry. If the right situation comes around, he'd probably consider it. Why would he go just because one opportunity comes up and he says no? That means he's done completely. You just don't know. You just don't know if a different circumstance comes up and then there's a good script and it's a way he doesn't want to be Batman forever. He doesn't want to be Batman forever, obviously. Regardless of what you think, maybe you think he's done completely. Who knows? Except him. The right situation comes up. My interpretation is he's not going to come back just to go into a channel, go into a project that's fast tracked by WB to get something going before pre-merger and doesn't have really respect for what Zach would do if he was going to come back. Even though they kept the character alive, if they do in Flash, they might want to push a project through to get it started pre-merger, and you don't want to mess anything up opportunities that come up later. I don't think he's just going to rush into it just because WB wants to now, because they want to get a project started, because they're not concerned with other stuff. That's my take.
Yeah, and again, he said he was done as Batman before, and he signed on for the Flash. So that to me, That to me is your biggest amount of proof that you need to show you that actors change their mind all the time based on the circumstances.
Right, the right script, the right money, the right conditions, they'll probably consider it. Unless they're really that salty or not salty, but really that done with the project. I don't know. J-Lo, I blame J. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not blaming J-Lo.
It
uh,
looks like J Lo's making him happy again, so that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood Polo asks here, ZodWriter, why does the book of Boba Fett suck so bad? I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
Really?
I haven't seen the first episode.
I thought it was good. It was Robert Rodriguez that directed. It's pretty good. A lot of action.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna check
Can
it
I
out
ask
later.
who in the chat said that?
Hollywood Polo.
Okay. Can I ask why, without spoilers, Hollywood Polo, why it wasn't on your, why you think it didn't live up to what it could have been? Um,
And Sickness here says that Max is on point. Yes, definitely. And Bell says, "Yeah, Dark Side looks so good. I do want more." Yeah. How do you bring an iconic villain like Dark Side to life in that manner, and then not want to give us more of that character? That's why
I
you really got to question what
well
Warner
there
Brothers what Warner Brothers mentality is at all, because it can't be all bitterness towards Zack Snyder. It can't be that personal. There has to be other logistics. There has to be other reasons how you can have something that's so successful that everybody seems to want more of, and you're like almost pigheaded about it in your response to, like, no, we're not moving forward with any of it. Like,
well it's out of necessity too. Like they need a big event to compete with Marvel. They need a big villain. Um, Also, they can't get Green Lantern series off the road. They've been talking about that for years on HBO Max Green Lantern. There's still no traction on that. It's kind of out of necessity. If they don't do something fast, they are gonna, even their current actors like Momoa and Gao are gonna like run out of steam too. Those runs, so they need to do something. They need a big event. They canceled New Gods, so I mean, there's definitely opportunity, and out of necessity, I think they need to do something. Now, if it going to be everyone's expectations of how it'll be restored, I think they need to consider something to. I would honestly, out of everything, we need Darkseid back. I don't know if all the characters will be back. I think the JLA and Justice League together going against Darkseid once they introduce some of them in Black Adam would be epic, and that would get people on board, and that would be some type of conclusion. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think it's necessary to give them a big villain to compete with Marvel. That's
Mhm.
if for no other reason, that should be the primary goal, to have something big of your own that is comparable. And let's be honest, it doesn't really get any bigger on the DC side than Dark Side.
Mhm.
So um, Hollywood Polo says, "Hi, everyone." And we've got Resident Justice. He says, "I disagree with the idea of a boycott, but people should be allowed to spend their money and spend their fandom however they want to. I want a continuation of Zack's Vision too, so I understand." And Zeno also agrees that Book of Boba Fett was straight. Let's see. A lot of people seem to agree with you, Max, except RJ. Um, let's see here. Let's see. ZodWriter just bought Neon Knights Pinball on Steam. Winter sale. Highly recommended. Get the 3-table bundle. Cool. Sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out. Now, let's see. Baby Girl says, "Hey, Rel." And the Bat Channel says, "For Dark Side, hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Need to see the nightmare and waiting on Discovery to save us." Now here's the thing about that. I kind of feel like, are we putting too much of our hope, Max, in Discovery? I mean, are we being unrealistic by being so hopeful that Discovery is going to do what we want, what we consider to be the right thing, and restore the Snyderverse in some capacity? Or is it realistic for us to have those expectations that Discovery is going to come in and make some changes and do things in our favor?
Well, that's like with the Ben Affleck thing. If he does want to do one, if he does want to do a few more projects, I think that's it. He doesn't want to come in and be Batgirl and all this and everything. On obviously, in my opinion, regardless if you think he's done completely or not, he doesn't want to be in everything. He wants to do what he wants and then be done. Is he already done? That's up for debate. I think that if you were Ben Affleck, considering you spent years on a project that didn't come to fruition, and then you gave pretty much a trilogy to Matt Reeves when that should have been Ben Affleck. And I'm all for Matt Reeves' movie. I love the trailer for the Batman, but that was Ben Affleck's opportunity first, and then they didn't continue. He went into rehab. He worked a lot on a solo project. Why would you want to sign on the dotted line for something that may not happen again, and then going into a merger with so much uncertainty? That could also be, that's my perspective. If he does want to do something else, he's only going to do it the right way, and he doesn't want to go into the same executives, some of the same executives, where a project that might not happen, devote your life to it, devote your energy and life to it, unless something changes. Maybe some people won't even come back unless the merger happens and it's a different set of circumstances. That's my perspective. If he comes back, why would he want to rush in pre-merger, something rushed, or devote time to something that might not happen again? So much time and effort. That's a constant frustration. I would think of what happened with him with his solo Batman project. I mean, that's what they wanted to give to him again. Potentially, if the rumors are true, if the pundits and the movie talk are correct, solo series or Batgirl. Why would he want to do something just to do it, just because they're offering it to him now? Because they need him now. Like, do something when it's the right way, or where something changes and you get a different result. Why would you go into the same set of circumstances that created such chaos before with Joss Whedon's Justice League and the Batman project that fell through before? Don't go into the same set of circus. It's like they're always running out of the seat of their pants. Okay, let's just throw this together real quick. Let's start, go. It doesn't seem it's not well planned out. That's why everything's all over the place still.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And I don't know, RJ, I don't know if I really believe that they're replacing Ben Affleck with Michael Keaton. I don't know if I believe that, because you got to remember, Michael Keaton is 70 years old. I mean, moving forward with the DCEU, if they want Batman to be a character that's going to, shepherd in new heroes and kind of be like have like the Tony Stark kind of mentor role kind of thing going on, I just don't see, Bennett. I just don't see
we don't know
Michael Keaton doing it. Well, that's why I say I feel like a lot of these scoopers and reporters have kind of gotten their wires crossed on the Michael Keaton thing, because I just don't see Michael Keaton coming back and signing a long-term deal to do all of this stuff. I could see maybe Michael Keaton coming back after the Flash movie and doing like a Batman Beyond kind of a thing. But I
don't think he'll do it if he's doing Batgirl. I mean, does he want to be Batman forever too? I think it's going to be certain.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Does he really want to be? Does he really want to be does he really want to be in Batgirl? That's what I want to know. How much of this is true, and how much of this stuff are people just pulling out of their butts and reporting it like it's gospel? Because to me, I just don't see it happening. Think of how long it took them to get Michael Keaton to agree to come back and play Batman again. I mean, you really think he's gonna sign on to some kind of long-term thing? I don't know. Hollywood Reporter. Hollywood Polo says ZodWriter Boba Fett isn't a show as Boba Fett isn't shown as the efficient killer that he is led around by a little girl the whole episode. Okay, so
Well,
that those
that
were
efficient killer fell in the Sarlacc pit by accident. I'm just kidding, Hollywood Polo. But you got to think about that. What was he doing in the original trilogy? He was standing around and falling in a pit by accident.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
But
he died. He died in the original trilogy. I mean, the idea of resurrecting him in this way. I mean, I know like they even resurrected him later on in the Dark Empire comic books, but for me, it was kind of like I was just surprised that they decided to bring Boba Fett back in this manner. I mean,
but I don't want to get into spoilers, Hollywood Polo, but you have to remember what he did before he was led around by that little girl you're referring to. Like he went through some shit. He was beat down, and his health was not the best in that situation. So you have to understand the context there. He still did a lot of stuff. I mean, think of towards the end of the episode, Hollywood Polo. So I think he still represented an intense Mandalorian's,
Yeah. And Ryan here is looking at it from a more positive perspective. He says, "Hello, Zod and Max. My hot take is I want a 2-part Justice League and 3-part Batfleck trilogy, or none. Until then, I am looking forward to seeing other DC films like the Batman, Black Adam, and the Flash." And we've got Integrity 101 in here saying Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. And we've got
I don't think that's who he's talking about, RJ. I think he's talking about it's hard not to go into spoilers. The other little girl that was leading him around.
Oh, there's multiple little girls.
Well, I don't know if it was a girl or not. It was a younger person.
Teacher. Okay. Yeah. Okay. As Sickness says, double MJ, exactly. We've got we've got the Bad Channel shouting out Integrity 101. Multiverse of Movies says they don't need a big event, and all they need is to make good content, and that will satisfy everyone.
I disagree. They need a big event, compete with Marvel. They've been chasing Marvel. They need something like on that level. Infinity War, Endgame. Marvel's just doing these huge storylines, and you're gonna keep skating past all of them and just do solo movies. I think they need it more than you realize. In my opinion, I would be happy with just great stories too. But what's all this for if you're not going to do something like that?
Right. You don't build up and introduce a character like Darkseid and then not do anything else with him. He had one of the best cinematic introductions.
And that was even in Joss Whedon's version, as they were hinting at it,
well, I mean, if you mean by that $2 Steppenwolf referencing Darkseid.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell people is it's not like people think the Snyderverse, some type of continuation, is so impossible. Both versions still kind of hint towards the same thing. You sort of end up in the same situation on both.
Referencing Darkseid.
Right.
Except in the Snyder Cut, we actually got to see an amazing debut for that character, which is why people want more. I mean, it's insane. And we've got Double MJ saying the Snyderverse is the only thing that can match or surpass the hype level that the MCU has. Well, I mean, that's the thing. The Snyderverse, one thing we can say is that Zack definitely has a plan. And that's why I feel like if they just let Zack tell that story, it could be epic and it could compete with Marvel. And, WB will be raking in the money. I think, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. If they would have given, in my opinion, if they would have given the Snyder Cut a theatrical run, I think it would have made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I wish they would have done something It's a shame that it didn't get that chance.
And RJ says the Snyder Cut is still one of the best movies of the year. 9 months later,
All time.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's a fantastic movie. It's like this. There's a reason why people are still talking about it after 9 months. I don't hear people talking about Wonder Woman 84 9 months later. I mean,
no, I got to rewatch it again. I was starting to rewatch it a few weeks ago, and I want to rewatch it again.
All right, and there's some discussion in the chat about Book of Boba Fett. I will definitely have to watch that show after this episode.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes too.
That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably watch that after this here.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got at the very least, we need Discovery to release the Ayer cut. That would be cool. I mean, it's like, to me, I feel like the Ayer cut kind of gets drowned out in all this discussion.
Well, I mean, I'm not hating on a lady for not wanting it, but I think still Margot Robbie has some, based on her reaction on the red carpet, she still is not wanting that out for whatever reasons. And they are so stuck with keeping her vision of Harley Quinn that they don't want to upset that.
Yeah, but her vision for Harley Quinn has changed like 3 or 4 times already. Yeah. So that's the thing I don't understand. She doesn't have like a solid vision for that character.
Well, I'll be honest. Listen, I'm not going to the like hating on women or anything for not wanting to do certain things. I understand why she wouldn't want to be seen in a certain light. Those scenes with Jared Leto's Joker were probably intense. And I think all the promotion for the Suicide Squad, the original one, where they're talking about it, and I think it was all bullshit. She never really wanted to come back with Leto's Joker. She wanted to do her own thing, and I think they just went with her. And I think that's still what's holding it up, and they still are gonna hold out hope that Harley Quinn will come back for another project, but it hasn't really translated in the box office. Harley Quinn works on the animated series, and I like her in these movies, but I liked Birds of Prey. I liked it better than the Suicide Squad, actually. It's just not translating to success, but I still think that's what's holding it up. I don't know. I think we should get it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope that. I mean, Margot Robbie obviously put in a grand performance in the Ayer cut, so it would be nice if we all got to see it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, she might not prefer that vision of Harley Quinn, whatever her vision for the character is, but I mean, if it's done, it should be out there for us all to see. I think we should all get to see it, because if the Snyder Cut taught us anything, it's that by repressing the movie, it didn't make the movie a bad movie. The movie was still an epic, fantastic movie that opened the door for a franchise that Warner Brothers could have if they really wanted to go there. And Integrity 101 says Keaton isn't replacing anyone. It makes no sense. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he is. I think he's gonna appear in The Flash and maybe one more thing. Maybe. But I don't see him replacing Ben Affleck as Batman for the DCEU. I just don't see it. To me, it just doesn't feel right.
He's all over the place. He's too busy and towards the end of his career here.
He's doing a lot. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying he's going to retire soon or anything, but
does he want to be tied down as Batman for the rest of his career? I mean, that's what it would be if he's. I don't know. Boba is a ruthless, calculating bounty hunter, as shown in The Mandalorian, but isn't anything like that in this series. Well, there's only been one episode, right? I mean,
give it time and understand the context, man. That he went through some shit. I guess it's not a spoiler that getting out of the Sarlacc pit was difficult on him. You have to understand too that probably breaks you down, and you're in a digestive system of a giant Sarlacc monster. It's not gonna be smooth sailing right when you get out.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I can just
You're not going to be
imagine.
you're not going to be 100% once you're out of there.
I can just imagine the PTSD on that level. Sickness is saying everyone got the Batman Beyond they wanted, except it's Batgirl,
Yeah, I
Batgirl
see.
Beyond.
See, I don't see. This is my perspective. I don't see Keaton signing on the Batgirl and playing a similar character as Batman Beyond, and then also doing a Batman Beyond. That would be kind of redundant, and I don't think we're going to get that if he does another project. I'm not saying he wouldn't do another project after Batgirl, but why would he do another series that's similar where he's helping a young crime fighter? That's it'd be too similar, right? Why would he do both? So I think it's kind of replacing any opportunity to do Batman Beyond, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe. And RJ says maybe Keaton isn't replacing Affleck full time, but rather they need some kind of older Batman or mentor to come in and shepherd Batgirl to take over as the main Bat person of the universe. Not a fan though. Yeah, it sounds like I could see them maybe doing something like that, but at the end of the day though, I just think that a lot of this Keaton stuff is getting blown out of proportion. And I think a lot of people are going to be eating crow when the truth finally comes out as to what extent Keaton is going to be involved in these projects.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, let's see. The Snyder cut should have been in theaters too at some point. Yeah, I agree. I think it would have made quite a bit of money. Uh, Wonder Woman 84 was so bad it killed my love for the character until the Snyder Cut came out and reminded me why I liked her
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree because it was a completely different take on the character. And there are people that like that take, and more power to them if you like that take of on Wonder Woman. But I prefer the Warrior version, and I prefer the version that we got in the first Wonder Woman movie and Snyder's movies. Um, Integrity 101 says, no doubt they were trying to squash the Snyderverse. It should have had a theatrical run, at least a limited theatrical release. Trilogy showings would have made sense too. Yeah, it could have made a ton of money. I mean, for real. Um, Ryan is saying they need to make solo DC characters, films, and great stories so the audience can get behind and then talk about making a big event. Well, see, that's the problem. See, that's what Snyder wanted to do. Snyder was trying to take it slow with Man of Steel and wanted to world build and wanted to flesh it out and give us that, rich universe to compete with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But Warner Brothers wanted it all super quick. They wanted Batman, they wanted Justice League, they wanted everything fast tracked because they're greedy. And I mean, I don't know. Daniel says, "Hey Zod and Max, have y'all seen Hellbound on Netflix?"
No, I've
No.
heard a few people talk about it.
Yeah, no, I
I'll
haven't
check it
seen
out.
it. I've heard some good things, but I
Oh,
haven't seen it
Callie.
yet either. Uh, let's see. We got Daniel Martin here saying greetings, Zod Max. Greetings, Daniel Martin. Good to see you. We've got
Kelly.
RJ saying Zod and Max. How do you guys feel about the Flash movie currently, especially now that we know Michael Shannon, Zod, and Fiora are coming back?
Well,
Uh,
I'll be real. I'm kind of concerned with that part. I'm like, what are they doing here? People immediately assume that means they're gonna kind of try to change something in the Zack movies, like they're gonna go back. And there's a strong possibility if they bring back those two characters, but we just don't know till we see the context of what they're gonna do with them. Um, my prediction was, so if Zod and Feora don't die, if they go back and do that, then Superman doesn't die, and then the Justice League isn't formed, and then Dust, if Darkseid
Oh
comes,
wow, I didn't think about that, but you're
because
right.
what was the impetus to create the Justice League? Bruce Wayne
The death
created
of
it because
Superman.
right. So if that changed, that's something I thought of right away. I'm like, well, what would happen if it'd be different, and then the Justice League wouldn't have been formed, and then
So
that you wouldn't have to actually do. That's my take on it. Is what they could do. I'm not saying that's what I want to see. I'm just saying that's a possibility. The Justice League might not be formed.
so there'll be some change. Yeah, there would definitely be some changes. If Zod doesn't die, Superman doesn't kill Zod.
Because he was Doomsday that killed Zod's body is what became Doomsday that killed Superman. You know?
How do you think that
That's an exclusive for your shows on.
how do you think that they'll reconcile that though? How do you
I
think
don't
they'll
know. Like I mean
reconcile
that would change things a lot, and people might get pissed at that too. You just undid the Zack Snyder's Justice League. They are not formed now because Superman didn't die. Because that was, I mean, regardless of what you think of the execution of Zack and the death of Superman, if you like it or not, that is what created both versions of the Justice League, the Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder's Justice League, is Superman's death. We got to form the Justice League. Superman's not here anymore. We got to protect,
Right. Without the Justice League, without Superman's death, yeah, the Justice League is not going to. Well, maybe the
at least
Justice
in this
League
version. At least in this version.
Maybe the Justice League would form some other way, but I don't know. That's weird, and it's odd that General Zod, and they would bring General Zod and Fiora back. I kind of feel like that means that there's going to be a lot of changes. General Zod's going to be alive at the end of it all. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity 101 says, remember, WB execs intentionally put an Avengers level film out without a theatrical release, and now they are trying to squash what is essentially DC's Infinity War and Endgame, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. They're done. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Zack Snyder understands Wonder Woman way more than Patty Jenkins. I agree. I don't think that Patty Jenkins really has a grasp on the character. I think she's kind of losing her, kind of lost her.
Well, she watched too much of the old TV show. That's
right,
what she got her inspiration.
I kind of feel like that's what she wanted to do, like a 70s version of the modern Wonder Woman, which is because that movie really did kind of feel like an episode of the 70s TV show. Integrity 101 says, not hard to see that WB execs are making billion dollar mistakes. WB reboots failed while Zack's universe is an untapped gold mine. Why wouldn't they green light it? What's the alternative? Yeah, the alternative is the definition of insanity, to keep making the same mistakes over and over again, hoping you get a different result, which I don't understand. I mean, this Flash movie is really going to be, I think, where it's all going to come to a head. I think everybody's going to pretty much have an idea of where things are once this Flash movie finishes.
Yeah, and in both sides that are so speculating that he's done, you just don't. I know what he said about IP films, but you just don't know until the right opportunity comes around. If something changes, if something does change at WB from the merger, and people are in the new people are in the right place, I think he'll consider it. I wouldn't think he'd be like, no, didn't you hear me? I said in an interview once after my movie failed that I'm never doing IP again. That's the other problem, is everyone takes these actors on their words forever. Like, if money comes along, they're gonna,
right.
That came out right after The Last Duel came out and the box office sucked. So he's pretty salty at that time. He's just like, I'm so sick of this. You just don't know. Right situation comes around, right opportunity. I think he'll still consider it. Like if they actually said, okay, Zach, we'll give you your thing, which is also, it may not be possible. I'm just going to put that out for all the critics of us, Zod. I always have to say that. Maybe it might not happen. But if it does, do you honestly think, oh, they're going to give Zach the green light, and Zach goes to Ben and says, here's the script, here's what I want to do, let's do this. Do you think he wouldn't at least consider? Or is he going to say, oh, or that actually might be a good topic for my video.
Yeah,
if Zach gets the green light and then and Ben's like, no, I said after my movie failed that I'm never doing IP films again. No, come on. He would consider it.
No, he's going to do it because he loves Zack Snyder and he respects the vision. Because if anybody knows the plan that Zack Snyder had for the DCEU, it's Ben Affleck. So, I mean, of course he's going to.
I think there might be a few holdouts that just don't want to do anything with this current regime and understand it's a failed entity that's potentially going into a merger that might change. Why would you sign on the dotted line now just to push it through a project that's not well thought out, just pushing it, trying to get things started before merger happened? Remember, they tried to rush the first Justice League because they wanted those funds before a merger. Also, they wanted their bonuses and stuff. Remember the bonus talk? It's like they never do anything until they're worried about something going to happen.
And we've got Double MJ here saying the Flash movie is not the Snyderverse, and I'm not paying my money to see it. Same thing with the Batman. There's no Snyderverse without Ray Fisher. And we've got RJ saying, are you guys still excited for Black Adam? I think it'll be a great movie. Aquaman 2 should hopefully be good too. Yeah, I think Black Adam is going to be awesome. Black Adam can't afford to be a bad movie. It's got to be great. And RJ says, really, the only DC movie I'm worried about next year is The Flash. Well, and you also have to remember, we know almost nothing about this Flash movie. You know, there's really, it's like the teasers that have been released haven't really given you anything, and I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest. We're going to be going into this Flash movie blind. Nobody knows what we're going to get. I don't even think they know what we're going to get.
Well, I also, there's reports that it's changed somewhat since the pandemic. So ultimately, I asked the critics like RJ in the chat, you can't have it both ways. Is he is the character dead, or is he being offered other roles that he turned down? So what do you believe? Because people,
right.
If they're offering him other roles, that means that Ben Affleck's Batfleck doesn't get killed off in the Flash. Or did they go back and change it just because he said no to the back role? That would be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Integrity 101 says Affleck returned, JK returned, now Zod and Fiora and likely Cavill are returning. If anything, it looks like these films are being re-Snydered, so to speak. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I don't know. It depends what their plans are. I don't know. We've got RJ saying, I'm very excited for the Batman and can't wait to see that movie personally. Belle Reeve says, all right, I'm back. What's happening? Not too much. Actually, we're just having a nice friendly discussion and we're about to wrap it up in a little bit, but this is always a fun topic to talk to you about, Max.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about it. I actually don't cover too much of my channel because my viewers get tired of hearing it. That is possible.
Resident Justice says, I don't know for sure, but to me, it seemed like they asked him what he wanted to do with Batman, including potentially being back for Batgirl and his series. The same time they talked to him for Flash. Okay, well,
that's your interpretation. That's not facts, RJ. That's what you feel.
And John Doe says you're delusional. Okay, well, that's kind of out of context because we don't know what you mean. I don't know who you're talking to or
I'll
what you're
take it.
talking about.
Fine, that's fine.
But
Absolutely.
being delusional is cool for some people, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So what do you got coming up, Max? What can we expect?
I think I'm gonna do a movie talk right after this. Do like at 11:30. I'm trying to think of a topic. I'm trying to do some research right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I got another late night Q&A tomorrow night. I'm going to be interviewing Fatal J about his Ninja Blast comic book. So he's going to be on to talk about that. And RJ says, "Oh, I know it's not a fact. I don't have all the info." Okay. Well, see, and that's the thing. None of us have all the info, RJ. None of us know. None of us will really know until the movies actually come out. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting though. It's going to be an interesting experience. I'm hoping that we go into this Flash movie enjoying it. I'm hoping the Flash movie is good. Um, but I mean, I'm tempering my expectations. Let's see, and John Doe getting taken to Pound Town. Okay, Katsuka, good to see you. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you so much for joining Max and I for this late night Q&A. I really appreciate all the support. This was just kind of like a quick movie chat. Sickness wants to know Fatal J tomorrow. Yes, Fatal J tomorrow. And we do have a super chat here from Daniel Martin. Ben, out of the loop, Zod Max. So Snyder's Commissioner Gordon, J.K. Simmons is going to be alongside the new Batgirl. That's what a lot of these outlets are claiming, right? It's J.K. Simmons that's going to be Commissioner Gordon, but they're trying to get us to believe that Michael Keaton is going to be Batman.
I don't know. We'll have to see how they do it. I don't know.
But let me see here. So thank you, Daniel Martin, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm getting a little bit achy because I'm getting over. I'm trying to get over something right now, and so I'm trying to, so I kind of gotta.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the chat too. If you get a chance and you haven't checked out my channel, I would appreciate you stopping by too. I'm almost at 5K. I've been trying to get there for 3 years. I'm very close. If anyone's interested, and Zod's always welcome on MME. And I'd love to get some Snyder fans and Zod fans. And I got to get into, man, you've been having some great gaming people on here too. I've been seeing lately, like PW had on. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh man, Zod does know a lot of gaming people. So
yeah, I'm that's what I'm pushing for. Like that community, has embraced me with open arms, and I'm doing a lot of stuff with them as well as the regular movie type stuff that we do. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad. I'm glad you are getting a chance to check it out. It was definitely fun with P-Dubs the other day. So,
all right. Well, thanks. Thanks. We made a full hour, and I hope you do feel better, Zod.
Yeah, well, I thank you very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it, Max. I'm glad we were able to do it. I think I did the right thing by taking a Tylenol before we did the show, because before the show I was coughing all crazy. So I'm actually feeling good that I'm not coughing like a crazy man. And it says Integrity 101 says Zod's been killing it for a few months now. I appreciate that, Integrity. Your support is always appreciated. Sickness says been sub to Max for years. Yeah. Who doesn't want to be sub to Mad Max? And Daniel Martin says Max's channel. Definitely sub to Mad Max if you haven't already. RJ says bye everyone. And Rexer says for sure Dubs and Retro Ralph are great guys. They certainly are. And Rexer show. Rexer is another home arcade guy that I'm going to be having on late night Q&A the first of the year. So that's going to be another pretty good show. So thanks for stopping by, Rexer. And Integrity 101 says later. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's show. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Max. And I will see you guys next time.